Hey, you YouTube and Snapchat and fuckers, welcome back to another installment of the Friday Wrap-Up. Well, made it through another week, kids. That's one more week closer to hell. I don't know. I mean, these weeks all seem to run together on us, you know? Anyway, so, it wasn't a really event. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It was a pretty eventful week for New York. Anyway, so before we jump into today's show, I want to tip my hat to today's libation. I am having another espresso martini, only this time it's new and improved. You know, I was thinking. I went to happy hour this evening with Christina, and we were talking about espresso martinis, and I said, you know, I don't understand. Nobody knows how to make an espresso martini the proper way. You know, when I make them, I use a little espresso, some Kahlua, and some vodka, because it is a martini. But, you know, when I have espresso coffee, I like a little like anisette or Zambuca in it. So tonight's libation is 2 parts Tito's vodka, 1 part Kahlua, about 1.5 ounces of good espresso coffee, and then I topped it with a little bit of black Zambuca, just to give it that espresso feel. So, a salud. Drink up and be somebody. Much better. Now that's espresso. Before, without the Zambuca, it tastes like a Manhattan Special, which, hey, I got no problem with. But this tastes much better. So, I've had a few few vodkas since happy hour, and now I'm going to top it off with this. So, bear with me, kids. It's going to be one hell of a show. So, before we jump into the nitty gritty, let's talk about our nostril gate. Right, the Cuomo saga continues now. No new sexual harassment claims have surfaced in the last, I'd say maybe 2-3 weeks. However, Governor Cuomo is being investigated for using taxpayer resources with regard to his book. They're saying like he had staff compile information and so on and so forth. Now, listen, don't worry. This investigation will also be inconclusive, just like the other two. So far, he may have embezzled taxpayer resources for personal gain with regard to the book. He's responsible for the death of 15,000 grandparents. He completely mismanaged the pandemic in New York and also plunged New York State's economy into an absolute fucking tailspin. And he also caused irrevocable damage to the New York State hospitality industry, restaurants, bars, etc. He legalized marijuana, and he's currently imposing one of the biggest tax hikes the state has ever seen. In the middle of a recession, no less. I mean, it's been one hell of a fucking year for this guy. But he's only harassed less than 10 women over his entire career. So he won't resign, nor will he be impeached. Because, very simply put, it's riot season. And riot season is in full fucking swing, which we will get into in a little bit. So, your Corona update for this week. Well, no new developments since last week. Everything's pretty much copacetic. Bars and restaurants are now open till midnight. That's titillating. The footloose laws, however, are still in effect, so no dancing, smiling, laughing, or joy of any kind. Make sure you wear your mask when you stand up, but when you sit down, you can take it off. Because apparently the coronavirus only floats around just above your head when you're in a seated position, and it only comes out really after midnight. You still got to sit behind the divider and 6 feet apart from the rest of society, but other than that, nothing new has developed. However, the catastrophe in chief never fails to disappoint. On Wednesday, Joe Biden said that if not enough people choose to get vaccinated, he'll have to cancel the 4th of July. Yeah, he actually said this. And people won't be able to have small gatherings in their backyards. I don't know, call me crazy, but isn't Independence Day about celebrating our freedom as a country? So, do we need the fucking permission of the federal government in order to celebrate freedom? I mean, doesn't that kind of defeat the whole fucking purpose? Okay? I mean, this guy is so far fucking removed from fucking society. He doesn't think that people are having gatherings in their home? I mean, they were doing that last year, right? What the fuck is so different from this year? I mean, I went to a 4th of July gathering last year, and the whole goddamn world was locked down. So, did I fucking miss something? Okay, do we need this old fuck's permission for shit people are already doing anyway? I mean, it makes no sense. The fact that this fucking misguided fuck would come out and say this makes me want to fucking throat punch him. I'm like speechless. That's how stupefied I am over this fucking guy's just utter incompetence. If you want to celebrate the 4th of July, go fucking celebrate it. What the fuck do you need to worry about what this old fart has to say? He's going to be asleep before 8 o'clock anyway. I mean, come on. The vaccine is a personal choice. I've said it before. If you want to get it, go fucking get it. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Me, myself, I'm not really too keen on it. You know, that's just me. Maybe I'm fucking irregular. I don't know. But to say that you're going to cancel the 4th of July, like, who the fuck are you to cancel a fucking holiday? It doesn't warrant federal permission to celebrate the independence of our country from, you know, from the tyranny of England from the fucking, you know, colonial days. I mean, I know they'd probably like to bring those back, but needless to say, if you want to celebrate, you got Uncle Tommy's blessing. You know, go ahead, knock yourselves out. A salud. So, we got a long trip ahead of us, kids. So put your shoes on, get those tickets out, get your umbrellas ready. We're about to embark on a long and mystical and magical journey on the crazy train. All aboard! Woo-hoo! Okay, so first stop, I mean, as if you needed to guess, Minnesota. Let's talk about the Derek Chauvin conviction. Now, this George Floyd thing has been hanging around for over a year. As you know, unless you're living under a rock, this week they passed the conviction on Derek Chauvin, and they convicted him on all 3 charges. So he got convicted for manslaughter, he got convicted for murder in the first and murder in the third. Now, I'm not a fan of the police department. We know this. But they're not always wrong. That said, I think he should have only been convicted for manslaughter. In order to be convicted for murder, you have to be able to show intent. So this guy had to wake up that morning and go, I'm going to go kill somebody. I'm going to go find this guy, George Floyd, put my knee in his neck and kill him. That didn't happen. You know, there are other mitigating circumstances. Should he have knelt on the guy's neck for 9 minutes? No, absolutely not. No. The guy was resisting arrest. They should have cuffed him, thrown him in the back of the car, the goddamn car. If he was going to run, let him run and shoot him in the fucking ass. Okay? That would have been fine. The fact that he knelt on the guy's neck for 9 minutes to subdue him isn't murder. It's manslaughter. Okay, it was an action without the intent to kill. I highly doubt this guy's intent was to kill George Floyd. Okay, if George Floyd never resisted arrest, he'd still be fucking breathing today. That doesn't mean Derek Chauvin did the right thing. Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't right away go, oh my God, he's siding with the police. No, I'm not. But the conviction was wrong. It should have been 1 count of manslaughter. Period. Amen. He would have done 15 years for that. Done and done. Okay? We're forgetting the simple fact that nobody arrested this guy for no reason. He committed a crime. He's got a prior history of criminal activity. Does it make him a bad guy? That's debatable. He resisted arrest because he was fucking whacked out of his mind on drugs. But, you know, cops can't take that chance. Again, this guy showed up, put his fucking knee in the guy's neck for 9 minutes. Was that right? No, that shouldn't have happened. But was it murder? Was it premeditated? No, it was circumstantial. Therefore, it should have only returned the conviction of manslaughter. Now, everyone, including the media, felt that anything less than the 3 counts would have led to riots. Well, lo and behold, They got fucking convicted for all 3 counts, and they rioted anyway. Led to celebratory riots. So, they were celebrating, let's go loot a fucking Nike store. Does this make sense? And to top it all off, this fucking Maxine Waters went down there and made it a 1,000 times worse by being a fucking jerk off, okay? By inciting a riot, by telling a already hostile crowd that they should push back more, that they should get more fucking aggressive if this goddamn conviction isn't passed for all 3 counts. So you know what that is? That's jury tampering, okay? That's just making it fucking even worse. So by doing that, she's influencing the jury's decision, whether it's intentional or circumstantial. She did influence the jury's decision. Even the fucking judge was irritated beyond reasonable doubt on this, and he even said to the fucking defense lawyers, you got a good case for the appeal now because of this broad, okay? So, what's going to happen here. They're going to appeal the case, and there's a good shot that it could get tossed out as a mistrial because of what Maxine Waters did. I mean, it's just fucking dumb. I mean, it makes no sense to me. The judge was pissed. It was crazy. This motherfucking judge was right. These goddamn people should just mind their own motherfucking business. Now, what in the hell is a congressperson from California doing going down to Minnesota and inciting a riot? If I'd have done that shit, they'd have thrown my black fuzzy ass in jail. They should have snatched some motherfucking wig right off her head. That's what I would have done. I would have snatched her wig off and said, shut the fuck up. Really, Pops? How do you really feel about that? I'm telling you, this woman fucking crazy motherfucker. Well, you heard it right from the horse's mouth there. Moving on. Next stop, West Hampstead. We got a lot of New York stops this week. Okay, I don't know. New York was a hot spot this week. So West Hampstead, right down the block from old Uncle Tommy. Okay, there was a shooting at Stop and Shop. Now, people tell me I'm fucking crazy because every time I go to the supermarket, I make sure I'm packing my pistol. And they go, what are you taking a gun to the supermarket for? I'm like, you never fucking know. So, the shooter, his name was Gabriel DeWitt Wilson. The guy's got a fucking criminal history going all the way. He's about my age now. I think he's like in his early 40s, right? So, he was the wagon collector for the supermarket. Now, the guy's got a fucking history, all right? He was harassing women in the supermarket, approaching them, even customers. The guy's got a fucking long history of misconduct. Now, he was arrested for armed robbery in Baltimore. Apparently, he suffered from a gunshot wound to the head when he was 19, and it left him a little irregular. Now, this is why I said don't fucking hire crazy people. So the guy was a goddamn disaster. They were trying to get rid of him. It wasn't working out. So he decides, he goes to work one day, the other day, and he had a problem with his schedule or whatever. He goes upstairs to the manager's office, and because it couldn't get resolved, he decides to shoot the manager and 2 other assistant managers. The guy he shot the guy had 7 kids. The person he shot. So he killed a man with 7 kids, who was also a grandfather. Now, I'm not saying this is a hate crime or a race-related incident, but why aren't there riots for this? Like, why aren't there riots for this poor guy's family? Like he was a sole provider, 7 children plus a grandchild. Good man, family guy. There's a ton of pictures on him, of him on the news. Why aren't there riots for this? Where are the BLM people for this shit? Okay, he wasn't a white guy. I think he was Hispanic or Indian or something, but nonetheless, I mean, you go to work one day, you think everything's going to be fucking copacetic, and this maniac fuck comes into your office and shoots him. It was a goddamn manhunt. They caught him up in Hempstead on, I think, Castle Avenue or some shit like that. I mean, Fulton Avenue. But it was unnecessary. And like I said, this is why I always carry a gun when I go to the supermarket. Now, I can guarantee you that this guy's weapon was not a registered weapon. Okay? All these fucking gun nuts. He wasn't carrying a registered weapon. It was definitely illegal. This could have been avoided. And I sincerely believe this. People think I'm crazy, but I'm serious. If you loosen up the gun laws for fucking law-abiding citizens where more people can arm themselves, you'd see less and less of this shit. Because you know what? Criminals are smart enough to know, listen, if everyone else can carry, there's a good chance that someone's going to return fire. Maybe I don't stop blasting at fucking 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, call me crazy, right? But that's where we're at with these crazy motherfuckers. So that's Stop and Shop. So from now on, when you want groceries, maybe avoid the one in West Hempstead for a little while. Next stop, New York City. I love this fucking story. So, a Philadelphia rapper by the name of Warchild is claiming that he was profiled by the NYPD last Saturday while he was driving his 2006 Hummer through Times Square. He says that the police swarmed his truck, guns drawn, okay, and demanded that he exit the vehicle. With his hands up, you know, the whole nine. He said that they treated him like he was a fucking terrorist, this poor baby. He was in fear for his life. Now, the fucking reason that the NYPD did this, as I'm not saying they didn't, but the reason that they did this is simply because he had a goddamn bazooka mounted to the top of the truck, okay? He said it was a t-shirt gun, which it could have been, okay? But take a look. Does that look like a fucking bazooka to you? Okay? I mean, a t-shirt, does that look like a t-shirt gun to you? It's made up to look like a fucking bazooka. Okay, so, I mean, of course the police are gonna stop you, you fucking retard. Now, my question here is, not why the police stop, but how the fuck did you get from Philadelphia all the way to Times Square and no one said a goddamn thing to you? I mean, you gotta go through the Lincoln Tunnel. Where's the Port Authority on this? You gotta come down the Jersey Turnpike. You gotta come down I-78. You gotta drive to fucking Philadelphia. I've been to Philly 1,000 fucking times. I'm telling you now, if someone's driving through Philly with a bazooka mounted to their truck, there's gonna be some questions. Okay? I know Philly's a rough town, but it ain't that fucking rough. Okay? So, fortunately for him, he was smart enough to not resist arrest. Okay? Otherwise, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. But this is not a profiling incident. You're driving through Midtown Manhattan with a fucking bazooka mounted to your truck, you fucking retarded fuck. I mean, how the fuck are people this stupid? I don't understand. I really don't understand. It blows my fucking mind. Anyway, you know, not every incident that happens in New York City is a fucking profiling incident, okay? If the police stop you, there's usually a reason. It's because you've done something you shouldn't be doing. Like, I don't know, driving to Times Square with a bazooka. You know, call me fucking crazy. I'll call you crazy, motherfucker, because this motherfucker nuts. Who in the fuck drives through New York City with any kind of fucking weapon mounted to their truck? You know something? These motherfuckers is crazy. I'm tired of all this shit. You know what? People throw around that racist shit like it's fucking water in a fucking water balloon fight. Enough of this shit. You know what's racist? Being fucking stupid. That's what's racist. This motherfucker ain't these cops ain't racist. This motherfucker just dumb. You know what I did when I was a young man? I didn't drive around New York City with a bazooka mounted on my Lincoln Continental. Hell no, man. I was playing a little Teddy Pendergrass looking to score some ass. That's what I was looking to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying, Pops. These motherfuckers need to go back to trying to score some titties and ass. Never mind walking around with a fucking bazooka shooting t-shirt. Who the fuck wants a t-shirt from this motherfucker? I hear you, Pops. I'm just saying I'm sick of all of this motherfucking shit. Every time you turn on the news, I hear racist. You want to talk about racism? Go down south. Talk to a motherfucker about my age. They'll tell you about racism. You know, I mean, you can't argue with Pops, right? Pops is right. Anyhow, next stop, East Patchogue. Ooh, I love this story. A car So a car crashed into a fucking Dunkin' Donuts. A car actually drove through Dunkin' Donuts. Okay? Now, it wasn't me. Settle down. Okay? But I could sympathize with this person. Totally. They probably fucked up their coffee. Maybe they put sugar in it. Maybe they didn't put enough fucking cream in it. And the person was fed up. And they just drove their fucking car right into Dunkin' Donuts. Now, every morning, I have this urge. Okay? I refrain from it personally because I like my truck. But the one time I snap, this'll be me. So I really can't, I cannot blame this person. After a while, you get tired of fucking having to correct someone on making a fucking simple coffee order. It's not complicated. Like this morning, for example. It took me 15 minutes to get a cup of coffee because the person couldn't fucking speak any English, okay? I can't stand it. So, yeah, I don't blame this person at all. It should happen once a week. I don't understand how this is an isolated incident. This should be happening more and more and more and more. But, it was just Patchogue of Long Island. So, But I can't really fucking blame this guy. So, next thing, your sports update. Well, let's talk a little baseball for a second. Okay? The Yankees are fucking dead last behind Baltimore. Now, granted, they did win a game, last night. They beat the Indians. Okay? Big fucking deal. Okay? This is their worst fucking start in years. I cannot remember the last time the Yankees were this fucking far behind. Okay? Now, the fuck sticks in the front office aren't doing fucking dick about it. Okay? They haven't even threatened that baboon of a fucking manager with a termination. Now, had that been Girardi, had that been Joe Torre, they'd be fucking crawling up their ass like a fucking tick. Okay, but instead, they let this fucking big-eared fuck run rampant and wreck the best fucking team in Major League Baseball. He has completely mismanaged the most expensive fucking roster in the entire MLB. Okay? They should beat his ballsack with the butt end of a fucking baseball bat. Okay? Every time they lose a fucking game. I've had enough. I've had enough for this fucking guy. It's only been like a couple of weeks now. Okay? But I've had enough. I mean, I don't know if they cut his balls off when he went in for his little fucking heart surgery or not, but I can't understand what the fuck what's going through this guy's head. What they should do is hook a jump starter up to his fucking nipples, okay, and then fucking maybe like jolt his pacemaker. He might stimulate a fucking thought on how to come up with a strategy to win a baseball game. The starting rotation is just completely mismatched. The bullpen, they keep relying on that fucking Aroldis Chapman, who's a fucking useless fuck, and their hitting lineup is just. I can't even fucking comprehend why Sanchez is even still in the fucking lineup. Okay, so the whole fucking team has just gone to shit. I'm beyond fucking disgusted, as you can see, with this team. What stupid motherfucker would pay money to go to that piece of shit stadium, which, I can't stand fucking Yankee Stadium. God help me, I'm a fucking Yankee fan, but they should burn this fucking stadium down. To see this team play like a bunch of fucking blind, lethargic mongoloids. I don't understand. Every time I turn on a game, there's a couple of people in the stands. Was it last week? They were throwing fucking shit onto the stadium. I mean, onto the fucking grounds because they lost the fucking game to the Rays. I don't blame them. Because I'm sure they're paying fucking top dollar. They're getting hosed at the concession stand because everything is fucking like text and delivery. So I'm sure there's a delivery fee to walk fucking 20 feet from the concession stand to the fucking seat. Yankee Stadium just fucking fleeces people left, right, and center. I'm a Yankee fan, and I'm telling you that. That's why I will never, ever, ever, ever step foot into that shitbag stadium ever again. But I'll digress. That's my thoughts on the Yankees. If they don't get their fucking heads out of their ass I think I might have to forfeit the rest of the fucking year. Now, the Mets, unfortunately, it fucking pains me to say this, but the Mets are in first place. Okay, Yankees are dead last, the Mets are in first. What the fuck kind of world are we living in right now? Okay? What's happening to the world? It's bad enough. The Democrats cheated in an election, ousted Donald Trump, put Biden in office, who's systematically destroying the country, but the fucking Mets now are in first place, and the Yankees are in last. When did I wake up in the fucking bizarro world? That's what I want to know. Now, my friend Joe Girardi's Phillies are nipping at the Mets' heels in second place. I mean, I think there might be like a game or half a game out, but I think the Phils are going to do good this year. I really do. I mean, I don't have any hope at all. And the Yankees, maybe the Phillies will give me a little bit of a smile this year. Hockey, the NHL, the Islanders slaughtered the Rangers on Tuesday. What a fucking disgusting game that was. That was the game the fucking Rangers needed to win. Okay? Had they won that game, they would have secured enough points to successfully put them in a playoff spot. But fucking Rangers, being the Rangers, lost. I think it was like 6-1. It was a disgusting game. And of course, they fucking lost last night to the Flyers too, which didn't really make me smile at all either. They basically have to win a majority of their games and not off to a good start. And the Bruins will have to lose all of their next games in order for the Rangers to even be considered for a playoff spot. So my guess here is Rangers are not going to the playoffs this year. And you know something? As much as I love my Rangers, they don't deserve it. They're playing like fucking dick. Personally, if they get rid of the coach, you know, they had a little spot, their little bright spot, when David Quinn caught the fucking wolf flu. He was out for like 6 or 7 games. The fucking Rangers were playing amazing hockey. And then the son of a bitch comes back. And all of a sudden, they forget how to play hockey again. So it's pretty simple. I mean, unless you got fucking blackmail pictures of Jim Dolan. This guy doesn't know how to coach. Get rid of him. Anyway, NBA, sad news. Brooklyn's James Harden is out indefinitely with a hamstring injury. Okay, so, yeah, there goes the Nets' playoff chances. Now, listen, I know I like my Bulls, I like my Knicks, but when you boil it all down, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan because they're a neighborhood team. I was hoping with the way they built the roster this year between Durant and Irving and Harden, that they would have just dominated in the playoffs. And truthfully, I think they would have. I think they would have crushed LeBron, that little fucking whiny bitch, and the Lakers. And I think they would have had a really good shot at a championship this year. But unfortunately, now that this fucking vagina face is out indefinitely, they got no shot. They got no shot. Durant can't stay healthy. Irving is hit or miss. Harden was he was the ramrod on that team, and now he's out. So, there goes my NBA playoffs. Oh, fucking well. All right, kids. So, on what the fuck is that? Let's talk about a reverse pile driver. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is that? Or what the fuck is that? As is the segment of the show. Now that spring is in the air and, people are starting to come out a little bit more. They get out of that winter hibernation funk and they start they start kindling new relationships and things like that. You don't want things to be stale. No. You want things to be fun and vibrant. So what do? You crack open a Kama Sutra book, you look for new positions, and this one, kids, is a crowd pleaser, apparently. Not that I know firsthand, but from what I read, it does seem to be quite delightful. As you can tell by the picture, it puts you in position, if the other person is a vagina owner, of course, where you're going to hit that G-spot perfectly. Now, the only thing you got to be careful here is that you don't, throw too much weight on the person because they're in, an awkward spot. If you're not careful, you could break their neck. This is not something that I would advise doing while intoxicated. You must be completely sober and have control of all of your faculties. Because if you lean the wrong way, you fall forward, you could be up on manslaughter charges yourself, and you could be sharing a cell with Derek Chauvin. So, if you're going to try this, just be careful. So, before we round out today's show, I just want to add a little observation. You know, people keep telling me about this guy, Dave Portnoy. Barstool Sports, he does these pizza reviews. He goes to various pizza shops, buys a pie, and then reviews it and scores it. Now, I've watched a few of his reviews. I have no delusion to think that he's watching the show, but there's a possibility. I personally think the guy's a pompous dick. Okay, a non-Italian from fucking Massachusetts really does not belong rating pizzas. Now, that said, I agree with his ranking of pizza shops, like good pizza shops versus bad ones. Like, you know, I mean, like he reviewed King Umberto's, he reviewed a few other places. I go to Little Vincent's and stuff like that. And, you know, where they fall and which one's better versus the other, I do agree with that. So he's spot on with that. As far as his numerical scoring and his opinions on the products, I don't agree with that at all. I think he's completely wrong on that. But that's just my opinion. So, you know, the guy makes a few dollars more than me, so I guess he's onto something. But the reason I mention him is because I stumbled across an interview he did last July with Donald Trump. And, you know, as much as I don't like this guy, I think he did a fantastic job with this Trump interview. First of all, he got the real Donald Trump. Not the Donald Trump you see or the way that the media, like, perpetrates him. It was a real candid conversation. And that's the Donald Trump that I know. You know, I mean, I've said this before on my show. I've met him a number of times in the past, way before he became president. And the interview was it was a 20-minute interview. It was pretty quick. But that's the real Donald Trump. And if the media would have just perpetrated him that way, you would have seen a completely different kind of guy. I mean, he doesn't change, but it's just the way that he's perpetrated. And I thought that was a fantastic interview he did with Dave Portnoy. And Portnoy did a spot-on job because he wasn't kissing Trump's ass. He was kind of like indifferent. Okay, so, I mean, he went in with an indifferent attitude. He even said it, and I think he did a fantastic job with that. So, we had a little treat this week. Trump was on Hannity, gave a great fucking interview. You know, anytime I see Trump do a sit-down interview lately, it makes me miss him even more. So, if you get a chance, just Google it. Trump interview with Dave Portnoy. It'll pop up on YouTube. It's a good little watch for that quick little 20-minute thing. And listen, go check out Dave Portnoy's, pizza reviews. I don't agree with all of them, but you know, hey, listen, it might make you crave some pizza. I mean, the guy. Here's what drives me nuts about this guy. His catchphrase is one bite, everybody knows the rules. So one bite, he's supposed to take a bite of the slice and then score the pizza. And he takes like 9 fucking chomps. First of all, it's impossible to take one bite of a slice of pizza. I get that. But he's not rating it on one bite. He's rating it on a bunch of different bites. I don't know. I just think the guy's a dork. But, go watch it. See what you think. And in the meantime, it's been your Friday wrap-up show. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you when I see you.